man who based in United States of America who studies astronaut physics contacted me 2 days ago. He said, young boy, I saw your video on the social media where you are trying to enlighten our people and to emancipate them from religious slavery, and it caught my interest so much. He said, these are part of the things I wish to do when I'm in Nigeria, but there is no privilege to access to audience and media. I'm so grateful and glad in my heart that I saw a young boy who is joining in this part again. Therefore, I will support you with evidence and facts that will validate things you speak with evidence and proof. So he began to forward on to me documents from the Harvard University. And when I begin to open this Harvard University document, among many of the things I saw in that place is a letter written by King Leopold of Belgium II to the white colonialists in the year 1883. This letter caught my interest so much because this letter explained explicitly the whole agenda and purpose of Christianity to a black man. Because when you want to build a house, the first thing that matters is the foundation of that house. Because the foundation of the house is what is going to sponsor how high the house can go. You cannot dig one baking foundation and you go and raise skyscraper on top of it. The building will collapse. So if the foundation is faulty, the whole house will be faulty. The whole house will be full of deception. The whole house will be full of slavery. So I took my time, I read this letter like 3 or 4 times so that I can be able to climb it and memorize it. As I come out now to read it to you, if I finish reading this to you, I hope it will answer or solve all your questions about the origin of Christianity. And I start. The letter of King Leopold II of Belgium to the white colonialists in the year 1883. He said, Reverend, fathers, and compatriots, the task which is given to fulfill is a very delicate one and requires much task. You are certainly required to go and evangelize, but your evangelization must stood above all to inspire the Belgian interest. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is not to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. They speak and submit to a Mungus, one Nzambi, one Nzakomba, and what else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with somebody's wife, to lie, and to insult is bad. Have the courage to admit it. You are not going there to teach them what they know already. It says your essential role is to facilitate the administrators, the task of the administrators and industrials. Which means you will go to interpret the gospel in a way it is best to protect the interest of the Belgium. For these things, you will keep on disinteresting our savages from the plenty richness that is beneath their ground so that they don't get interested in it and make you murderous competitors. Kai. And one day dream of overthrowing you. And the second paragraph, he begins to speak. He says, the knowledge of the scriptures we allow you, we help you to find text orderings. And encouraging you to make your followers to love poverty. Like happier are the poor, for they shall inherit the kingdom of God. And it is too difficult for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. You must detach from them everything that gives them courage to affront us. Make them to disrespect it. Hi. I make reference to their mystic system and warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon. You must do everything within all your power to make it disappear. It says your action or your principal task must be directed to their younger ones, the youth. For they won't revolt against us if the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to the teachings of their parents. You must teach the children to obey the missionary recommendation, who is the father of their soul. Hi, my heart is grieved. He says, you must teach the children to be total submission and in obedience. He says, do not develop the spirit of the schools. Teach the students to read and not to reason. So this is the principal objective. And before you leave this conference, you are going to receive much more books that will teach you more. Evangelize the niggers to be constantly remain under submission to the slavery of the white man colonialist, so that they don't agitate against the constraints that they are undergoing now. Recite to them always that happier are those weeping, for there is the kingdom of God. Full stop. You know, some people don't hear English well. You may speak upon me, you will be watching me and you are admiring this guy. He knows how to speak English language. No, I just read the letter the way the man wrote it. So it's important for me to interpret the letter so that even though you are hearing, you will understand. One thing is to hear, another thing is to understand. The first paragraph of this letter says, Dear Reverend, fathers and compatriots, The task that is required to do is a very delicate one and requires much tact, which means they know that what they are about to do is something that requires energy, something that requires wisdom, something that is not going to be easy. He says you will go certainly to evangelize. That means but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interest, meaning that this evangelism is not to prosper these people. This evangelism is not to progress them. It must inspire above all our own interest. Kai, he says, your primary objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. They know that to kill, to sleep with somebody's wife, to lie is bad. Which means the white men, before they came, the African man already know what is God. And they know that the basis of God is to institute discipline to man. Because discipline is the agenda of instituting this God something, to put consciousness and the fear of sin. He said they know that to kill, to steal, to sleep with somebody's wife is bad. He says, have the courage to admit it. You are not going there to teach them what they know already. He says, he now begin to talk about the principal objective. He says, your essential role is to facilitate the task of our administrators and industrials, which means you will go to preach the gospel in such a way as to what? Protect the Belgium interest in that part of the world, which means they bring it in such a way to protect their government. Hi, my heart is grieved. I don't know if you are following this explanation I'm giving you. It says, which means you will always keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty in their underground. When you mean disinterest, it means to remove your interest, to shift your agenda, to shift your consciousness, to shift your appetite. That is the English disinterest. It says, you will go to disinterest our savages. So they are going to remove your attention from the natural resources that is beneath your ground, to disinterest them from their gold, from their oil, from their riches. Do you understand where I'm coming from? To disinterest them. He says, so that they don't get interested in it and make you murderers. Because no man who knows that you are mining his gold will be clapping for you because you came to save him. He says, so that they don't get interested and make you murderous enemies and think one day to overthrow you. This is the first paragraph. The second paragraph, he now begin to talk about Bible. He says, your knowledge of the gospel will help you to find text orderings. When you say ordering, that means you are giving order. It's not a suggestion. It's not something that you have power of will to select. It's an order, but it's a polite order. Because the best way to rule a slave is to make him to be happy, even when you are slaving him. He says those text ordering will help you to encourage your followers to love poverty. That means there's actually a part of the Bible that sponsors men to like mediocrity, that makes men to believe that the reward is after they die. It says, like, begin to give example. Happier are the poor, for they shall what? Inherit the kingdom of God. Here about the foundation of ye cripple, most of our choosing sisters and deeper life. Most of them, they believe that they will only enjoy this life after death in heaven. Hi, my heart is so grieved. He says, tell them that it will be very rich for a rich man. It will be very, very hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. You see where they are corrupting your mind, enslaving your mind. It says, the second part is what paid me so much. It says, you have to detach them and encourage them to insult everything that give them the courage to affront us. And he says, I make reference to their mystic system and their warfare. What are they telling you? That there are some certain elements or agent of life that helps the black man, that marshals his power to confront the white man. He says, I make reference to their mystic system, which means I make reference to their herbalists. I make reference to their war protection system. I make reference to what you call juju. These are the things that give us power, that give them power to confront us. He says, make them to disrespect it. Because when you begin to disrespect things, things begin to walk away and run away from you. He says, you have to detach them and make them disrespect it. I make reference to their mystic system and their war fetish. Hi, my heart is grieved. Understand the basis I'm going from. I'm driving you somewhere. He says, they claim not, they pretend they don't want to abandon it, but you must do everything within your power to make them abolish it. Because if the black man magic remains, they will fight us with things we don't know about. I remember when my dad was telling me a story, he said, Ogbaka, where I come from, they used the Ijele to pursue the first white people that came to Ogbaka. Some of them were killed with mosquito. These are the black man magic they are telling you about. They said, make them to disrespect it. You must do everything within your power to make them to abolish it. Hey, follow me to the third paragraph. He now begin to talk about me and he says the youth. He says your principal task must be your essential role is to win the heart of the youth. for they won't revolt. The word